Hi guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I wanted to show you guys kind of how I study and my study techniques. So I'm going to be studying for finals today. It is Friday the 10th of May. We have finals super freaking late this year. I don't like it, but I only have one written final, and then the other final that I had was a final project. So I'm already finished with that. I just need to submit it, and then today I'm just working entirely on reviewing for my procedures final. Our final is cumulative. We have gone over so much information this semester, so I really need to get started. So my exam is next Wednesday. It's probably going to be like 200 questions, so I'm just happy to be over with this test. But I wanted to show you guys kind of my tips and tricks on how I study and kind of what I use to study and stuff. I know so many of you have found my videos just by like the terms x-ray or radiology or radiologic technology, whatever it is, you found me. So I'm going to try to give you some tips to study and hopefully help you out. So I take notes on my laptop. This is a MacBook. So if you guys can see to the left of my screen, this pink sticky note is what it's called. I always put sticky notes on my homepage of my MacBook because I kind of forget everything. As you can see, I just have like each of my classes, and then I just write what I need to finish for them. I'm actually gonna write one more thing. I always like to use stickies because it just keeps me organized. In my documents, I always keep my school separate from my YouTube stuff. So YT just stands for YouTube, and then I have my school folder, and then I keep my notes here. So I will show you guys kind of how I take notes. I try to keep it pretty similar every single chapter, but over the course of the semester, I kind of have learned better ways to do things. So this is just an example of my notes here. I always like to include pictures and stuff in my book and label different x-rays and stuff like that. So that's what I like to do. That's kind of the rundown of how I keep organized on my laptop, and then I don't really have anything else that I use. I literally just use Microsoft Word, and that's it. So this is my backpack. If you guys want to see what I carry in my backpack, I'll leave it linked below. It's definitely changed a little bit since last semester, but you'll get the gist of it. One thing that I'm always carrying is my positioning book. We use Bontrager's. Some people use Merrill's. I don't know if there's any other ones. If there is, let me know if you use a different one. But if you use Bontrager, you're in luck because you'll maybe benefit from some things that I'm going to show you guys in this book. If you guys can see on the side here, I always organize it by chapter with these little sticky tabs. So I'm not going to talk a lot about this because this is all self-explanatory. A lot of you are asking how I study these pages, which are some of the most important parts of this book for passing the class, I guess. I pay attention to SID, IR size, the KVP, part position, central ray, respiration. Then I always look at the anatomy demonstrated and how to know that you have everything on your image. And then I always like to look at the labeled image and then what your image should look like. Those are the things that I really look at when I'm studying positioning. That's how I study for that kind of stuff. The next thing that I wanted to talk about is purposegames.com. This is my main tool to use for studying the bony anatomy. I know I have mentioned it in so many videos, so I wanted to show you guys how it works. So I don't make my own on here. I know somebody had asked me how to make one. I don't make my own, I just use other people's. So shout out to everyone that I use. So basically you just hit play and then you just quiz yourself on here, and every time you get one correct, it turns green. Every time you get one wrong, it makes this little noise, and then if you get it wrong too many times, it'll turn purple, and then once you finally click it, it's red. So you know if you get that wrong, you just need to keep studying it. So purposegames.com, love it. The next thing I use is Quizlet. Very self-explanatory, don't really need to show you guys that, but I just make little flashcards for myself and quiz myself on that. So I think that's everything that I kind of use to study. I don't really do anything crazy. So now we're gonna move on to the study with me part of this video. So like I said, I am going to be studying for my final. I'm gonna go to like my online thing for my class and look up my syllabus. I don't really like to use paper. I do sometimes, just depends on my mood, but a lot of the times it's so much faster for me to just type everything, which is why I type all my notes. The one thing that's super important for me when I study is to find a place that I can like spread all my crap out and actually like be able to visualize everything. I am such a visual and hands-on learner, which explains why I'm in this major, but a lot of the times I just need to have a huge space and a quiet space at that I just need to have everything laid out. So I'm gonna go through this and write this down and check back with you. So it looks like we have gone over 6 different chapters this semester. They are very, very very large chapters, so I have a lot to go through. I'm definitely going to be studying mostly the stuff that we did before spring break, which feels like a century ago. What I'm gonna do is make a separate document, and I'm just gonna work away at preparing for this final. I am so freaking nervous. The last thing I'm gonna show you guys is how I set up my documents. So I always start by changing the margins, and I make them narrow so I can fit a lot of crap in my documents. And then I also will do a header. My favorite font to use is Cambria. Don't know why, love it. Final review study guide. So I'm gonna just divide my screen in half. After I'm done with the document, I'll always export it as a PDF just so, I don't know, it's a little bit easier for me. Does that make any sense? Probably not, but I'm just gonna go through this and start to type some notes and check back with you guys later once I am so burnt out. I think I'm gonna make a coffee actually. It's 4:35. Break number 1 already. Check out my dog. Hello, Jake. Okay, it's also 4:38 and I'm hungry, so if I'm up, I may as well make something to eat, right? If you guys watched my last video, which was a Q&A, I mentioned that my favorite food is pickles, and a lot of you guys thought that was so funny. I don't know why, but this is what I mean by I get distracted easily. I am so tired of studying. My fingers hurt from typing, but it is the next day, obviously, as you guys already saw, but it is 2:32 right now. So the last clip you saw from yesterday was all I did for studying yesterday. I feel like the smartest thing to do personally if you're having a cumulative final is to take like a week and expand all of it out and not cram, because that is when you don't retain things, is when you just like cram the day before it. I know that's common knowledge, but we all do it. I have done it so many tests in a row and it's just came back and bit me in the butt. So I'm trying not to do that for this final because I want to do the best that I can. I'm just about to finish with my last chapter. I have about 8 pages, which doesn't seem like a lot, but I feel like I remember the majority of it when it comes to like anatomy and stuff. So I know that all of you have probably already had your finals, but if you guys are going into radiology and you want to take some tips from this for next year or something, I'm gonna get back to finishing this last chapter. I feel like I need to go get some coffee because treat yourself on finals week, you know? I am finished with my overall study guide, I guess, so I'm gonna go ahead and print this, and then as I study throughout the next few days, I can like jot down other notes, or if I think of anything, or if I want to like highlight things that I don't necessarily remember as well, that is what I'm gonna do. So usually I don't print off every single study guide that I make because that just wastes so much paper, but for the final exam I'm going to do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and print this and get on with my day. Went and got a grande iced coffee, and I tried to buy a reusable cup, but they didn't have any left. That plan kind of backfired, but trying to cut down on my plastic usage, but I tried. So she said that like all of the stores around town are sold out of the cups, so we're gonna try again another time, but I got my coffee, so that's all that matters. So sometimes I go to Starbucks and I get a grande iced coffee, no plastic sweetener. I'll add my own creamer to it. I think it was like $2.70, give or take what state you're in. It's gonna be a little bit more expensive or less expensive. I'm talking. I look great. So I printed out my like final review study guide. Okay, either you sit with me and relax. It's coffee. You don't drink coffee. Toby. So over the course of the next few days, I'm gonna continue to study this little study guide that I made. I'm gonna add some more notes to it as the time progresses. Overall, that's kind of how I study and how I kind of gather all of my thoughts together. I also need to study all of the projections that we have gone over, so I'm not really sure how I'm gonna do that. I'm probably just gonna like go through my book and practice them and just write down all of the different angles that we need to know because there are so many. So that is going to be the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.